Monday Night Raw Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of Raw, SmackDown, and or PLEs. Let's get started with Madden Davis _12. Gunther's promos are so underrated. If it wasn't for him, the hype of this Mania match would still be in the ground. You know what? Here's my hot take. Well, first off, I agree with you. My hot take is this. I actually think I prefer Gunther's promos over his wrestling. I know that's sacrilege because he is like the ring general and everybody's just like, oh, Gunther, his in-ring prowess, it's so good, it's so awesome. And yet I just love when he gets that microphone because I know he's about to torch somebody and just be so proud of himself, and it's gonna be so hilarious. He has like an entire build-up to his one solid savage burn, and I'm just like, I'm salivating at the mouth, just waiting for him, chomping at the bits. Come on, Gunther, drop that insult. And when he does, it is so funny. And yesterday was a masterclass in how to promote a match, and holy crap, it was so good. Gunther in those stands was funny, and I am so with you. Very underrated on the microphone, and you are right, he is the one that is making this match something that is must-see. Now, that's not hating on Jey Uso, it really isn't, but let's look at the facts. It's Gunther who is making this match something, the storyline interesting, and that's okay, because we go back last year, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, who also had 3 fights the previous year. Well, it was Drew McIntyre who was all that build. Their match was all Drew McIntyre. So this one, it's all Gunther right now. We'll see if Jey can get in on it, though. Milla Matthew, last year, we were talking about Gunther beating guys like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Goldberg, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, etc. Now he is going to lose to Jey Uso? What a fail. All right, so you definitely are not on the YEET train, and I am looking forward to this match. I get what you're saying, though. Last year, it was like, who is he going to fight? He was actually supposed to fight Brock Lesnar, but then all that stuff happened with the Vince McMahon lawsuit. So I feel your pain. I feel, though, that Jey Uso is still a worthy competitor. I think that's where Gunther's weak spot is, that honestly, it's when he fights these really top tier heavyweights, then he goes up against them with this mindset that he has to train and take them serious. But when he goes up against like these smaller guys on the card, like Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, who have all the talent in the world, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but he takes them for granted, and that's where he loses, actually. So maybe they can play that into the storyline, because I know at one point they did that with Brock Lesnar. They were like, hey, if you're at a certain point, the smaller the wrestler against Brock Lesnar had more success, because if you tried to go toe-to-toe with Brock, he would destroy you with suplexes. But if you were so, like, I don't know, agile and small, he could never get a hold of you, and then you could go on the attack, because Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, all those guys had a lot of success fighting Brock Lesnar. They would still lose, but it was always way better than anybody thought. And so maybe they'll play that into Gunther. You know, both times he walked into WrestleMania as the odds-on favorite, and yet he couldn't overcome the severe underdog. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but try to still enjoy the ride. Yeet Mania, baby! Let me guess, you're a Jey Uso fan. All right, so I'm pretty sure Jey will beat Gunther at WrestleMania because he's over with the real fans who pays money to see WWE. I like that, like, I don't know, was that like a backhanded compliment? Backhanded dig? The real fans? Kind of implying that the internet fans, you know, they just complain a lot. Well, you know what? Internet fans do complain a lot. I have found myself guilty of being one of those internet fans complaining a lot in the past. However, not so much right now. I'm digging wrestling as an overall product, though I do have my beefs. If you look at tomorrow's video, it's about the sad state of the WWE title. So I'll be complaining tomorrow. But today I'm just like, yeah, cool, Jey Uso, yeet, and Gunther, ha ha ha, making fun of the yeet. But yeah, I agree. I do think that Gunther is going to lose. I think the opportunity of 80,000 people yeeting is too much for WWE to pass up. They want to see Jey Uso hold up the title as 80,000 people go crazy. I think they want that moment on camera forever. So yeah, Gunther's not winning, unfortunately. But if you want to win this belt right here, and you can hold it up while Jey Uso holds up his title, and you can pretend that all 80,000 are yeeting for you, well, all you got to do is comment on this video and or any other video, past or future, because every time you comment on a video, that's another chance to win this prize right here. I have multiple belts. I'm giving them away at 10,000 subscribers. I'm going to give away a belt on my quest to quit my day job and produce wrestling content full time. I also have a Patreon. Please consider going over there and subscribing, because I do other content there that I can't do on YouTube, like watch-alongs, sharing my screen, what I'm watching, because of content laws and whatnot. Ooh, content laws. Always keeping me down. But anyways, so what you got to do? Again, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. That's the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Maybe a thumbs up, and you can yeet with Jey Uso and hold up your prize, because I'm going to hit 10,000 before WrestleMania. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. All love 0307. I think they make the heels lose too much. LA Knight might have to come to Raw and become a heel just to spice things up. Ooh, I would love that. That would be good, actually. He doesn't really need to become a heel because he's still really over with the crowd, but I think it would be a great thing for his career. He seems to have a chip on his shoulder right now. That would be amazing. Maybe we have a double turn at WrestleMania where Drew turns face and LA Knight goes heel, and then LA Knight can go and fight Jey Uso for the title, because that would be a good program right there. Heel LA Knight versus face Jey Uso. But I get what you're saying also, and I agree. We have the faces are winning way too much. I definitely side with the heels more so I might be a little biased here, but the Dakota Kai Ivory Nile match tonight, that was a perfect opportunity for a heel to win. It made so much sense to have heel versus face when it's Lyra Valkyria versus Ivy Nile, but then they let Dakota Kai win? Why? Like, why did she win? There was just no sense in that. So now we got face versus face next week, and we don't even know who to root for. It's like, I don't know. You're right. The faces are winning way too much. Jay and Love, seems like Naomi and Bianca are in limbo until we found out who attacked Jade. Yeah, unfortunately, like the moment Jade left the tag team division, the women's tag belt, I wouldn't say went completely downhill, but it definitely got stagnant. They did a great job last year, Bianca and Jade, really elevating that title up, and I don't know. Once Jade left, it just kind of like flatlined. And I'm glad there is a story now, even if it does revolve around this whole angle. I do want us to put a bow on it. But the fact that they think it was Liv Morgan and Raquel that did it, give me a break. I already did a whole video on it, so I'll put a link here. You could watch it, explaining why it's ridiculous that that's the evidence that they're going off to base everything off of. Regardless, it's wrestling. Okay, at least we got a story. Here. And I do think, though, Naomi, 100%, you are so guilty, Naomi. Can't fool me. Demon King, my new hot take is twofold. First, the Wyatt Six need to be on Raw and run wild on the roster and win every belt. Well, I am going to do a Wyatt Six video. They're on SmackDown. I don't think you can, I don't know what to tell you about that. They're just going to be on SmackDown. However, on Thursday, I'm going to do a Wyatt Six video on what can save the Wyatt Six. And I don't even like spooky characters like the Wyatt Six usually. There are exceptions, but I'm going to try to save them anyways. And then your second part is the Smoking Skull is the best belt. I actually prefer the Winged Eagle. That's my favorite. TTJC, Liv is not winning the Elimination Chamber, but I see her and Raquel winning the tag titles. Naomi and Bianca are going to double team her. Alexa might help, but I doubt it. Honestly, I think Roxy or Bianca wins. However, if Roxy wins, she's going to be fed to Rhea. If Bianca wins, she has to turn heel because Rhea is too over. I think they're just going to do face versus face. I really do think they're doing face versus face. I would love to see a Bianca Belair heel turn. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, she's the perfect face. And then sometimes I'm like, ooh, I remember when she was a heel in NXT. So I think Roxy's way too early in her career. she should be like thankful that she's like in the Elimination Chamber, because if we go back to last year, we had Tiffany Stratton in the Elimination Chamber. That's when she started flirting with the main event scene. So by the end of the year, I wouldn't mind if Roxy, became champion, but not right now. Hopefully it goes to Bianca, and Liv and Raquel definitely winning those tag team titles. That'll be a good way to keep Liv in the in everybody's like faces, while not letting her be in the main event scene of the women's division. Monster Jam Brawny, do you think that Kofi will ever be solo again? I really miss SOS Kofi. Now, SOS Kofi, if you're talking like the Jamaican accent Kofi, you're never going to get that Kofi back. He's gone forever. Now, the solo Kofi, though, that depends on your definition of solo, because Solo Sikoa, not that one. Because Kofi Mania, he was solo. He was like by himself. He was a single star. However, he had Big E and Xavier Woods at his side. So if you don't consider his WrestleMania singles win over Daniel Bryan for the WWE title solo run, then no, he's never going to go solo again. But if you do consider that a solo run and he just has friends backing him up, then yes, I could see him doing it. Southpaw Jimmy, injecting McAfee into our WrestleMania main event match is unnecessary and insulting. Okay, so I think he's talking about Jey Uso and Gunther, because there was a point last night where Gunther, he flipped the switch. He went from being very kind of entertaining on the mic to being a bully to Pat McAfee and saying, do you think that Jey Uso's gonna beat me? And I'm okay with this up until a point. If Pat McAfee gets beat up next week, Gunther comes and beats up Pat McAfee to get heat, then fine. That's great, actually. I love it. We have 8 weeks to go. We gotta do things here and there. And then Pat McAfee can really be on Jey Uso's side for the rest of the feud. However, if it goes beyond that and we start getting, Pat McAfee's going to be in his corner, we're going to have tag matches with Pat McAfee, maybe he becomes a special referee, then no, I don't want that at all. But I don't mind when it's like a 1 or 2 off of the wrestler picking on the announcer. I think that's actually kind of good. But yeah, too much of a good thing, though, can totally ruin it. And so I disagree with you right now, Southpaw Jimmy, but in like 2 or 3 weeks, if he's still actively involved, then yes, we'll be on the same page. KB, I'm getting bored. Nothing exciting is going on. I might do a video on this, because you're right, not much exciting is going on. I think that they're waiting till after Elimination Chamber. We've been sold on this premise that Royal Rumble is the start of the road to WrestleMania, but no, it is no longer. Now, I guess it's like the prelude. It's the prelude to the start of WrestleMania, because now it feels like Elimination Chamber right now is the real start. We have like 2 matches set up for WrestleMania, but yeah, it's not really feeling it. This was a decent Raw in my opinion, but it wasn't like a great Raw. If it was literally, on a scale of 1 to 5, I do Raw reviews on my Patreon. You don't even have to be a paying member to do that. You can just go to Patreon and watch, and then you can see everything else and maybe become a paying member. But the Raw review, I give it 1 out of 5 chops, and I think I gave it a 2.6 out of 5 chops. So it was very middle of the road, even though I loved a couple things that did happen in Raw. It wasn't a bad show, but nothing really happened. And when nothing really happens for 3 hours, that does make you tend to be like, yeah, this is boring, this sucks. Yeet Mania Baby, I feel like Adam Pearce is like a cool dad who just likes to yell a lot and say, heck yeah, to unsanctioned matches and let wrestlers do whatever they wanted to each other. And I think Nick Aldis is a responsible mom and do the opposite of what Adam is. And that's a fair comment, actually. Adam definitely doesn't have the kind of control that Nick does, but Nick is definitely more of a stuffed shirt. If you want to go to the bar or go to a party with somebody, you're going to pick Adam Pearce, but if you need someone to do your taxes, Nick Aldis, all the way. Zay Studios, Seth versus Cody would come full circle since their Hell in the Cell and their WrestleMania match. That would be really interesting, especially because last year I would even throw this onto what you just said. Last year, Seth Rollins did everything in his power to get Cody the title. So this year, Seth Rollins does everything in his power to take the title off of Cody. That would be cool, but I'd rather see Seth versus Roman, not gonna lie. Oh, and since I didn't get any New Day hot takes and I wanted to talk about them, I asked my friend to give me one, and he said they should have talked the LWO down and planted seeds of doubt that the reason anybody doesn't know their name is because they're overshadowed by Rey. They need to have a heel superpower. As long as they have been in the business, it should be perspective and observation. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. He did go on to say that's kind of what Karrion Kross is doing, but I don't know, maybe the New Day and Karrion Kross can get kind of together since Karrion Kross kind of set them on that path of evil anyways. But yeah, the LWO came out with the New Day, and it's like, dude, if the New Day wouldn't have got rid of Rey Mysterio, you guys wouldn't even have TV time right now because Rey Mysterio kind of hogs it all. I mean, Super Dragon or Dragon Lee, when was the last time you were on the microphone? So low key, maybe you should be a little thankful for the New Day. Thank God also that the New Day are finally speaking and talking, and I wish they were higher up the card, but I'll take victories where I can get it right now with the New Day. Pro Gamer RKO, Liv Morgan and Raquel need to stop making fun of Finn and go after the titles, and Dominic needs to work out more. You know, I think Dominic would serve working out more, but at the end of the day, he's way more over than the most jacked musclehead, so he's definitely doing something right. And Liv Morgan and Raquel and making fun of Finn, I don't know. I just want the whole thing done. Get them all separated. Damian King, unsanctioned match is gonna be wild at Elimination Chamber. Certainly unpredictable. Yeah, that is like, I mean, when you have two guys who literally grown up in the business together, what, 20, 25 years together, fighting over and over again, every time they have a match, they want to make the last match better. And they've had so many matches that it's insane to think that they're going to have another one that we want to see and it's unsanctioned. That, low-key, it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. We'll probably get that ladder spot where it's like ladder, and then a ladder in the middle, if you know what I mean, a ladder bridge, and he pile drives him on top of it, you know, because Kevin Steen did that to El Generico one time, and Sami Zayn very much models his career off El Generico. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. El Generico and Sami Zayn. But I could definitely see this match being crazy. And then we also have Gunther doing a promo, and the crowd was S-tier trolling. S-tier trolling. Man, Gunther starting off out in the arena was so funny, so awkward seeing him there, and then he just owned it, and he's like, come on guys, let's eat, and the crowd booing him. Mwah, chef's kiss all the way. All love 0307 Tunga Loa is a notch above a botch. All right, I think I need to apologize to TTJC. I was delusional last night. I'm sick. I've got the flu, and we got to the last match. It was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, and I paid almost no attention at all to it. I was just rolling, laughing, because we were making so many Tunga Loa jokes last night. And I think it all started with this. Tunga Loa is a notch above a botch. I was like, that is so funny. That is so hilarious. And then that got the ball rolling, and I was just laughing my head off. I didn't pay attention until like the last 3 minutes of the Finn Balor Seth Rollins match. In my defense though, if WWE did a better job of making me believe that I could actually see Finn Balor winning, I probably would have watched it more. But it was a competitive and great match from what I hear. But go to the chat. The Tunga Loa jokes were on point too yesterday. So God. I'm sorry, TTJC, if I was laughing too hard during the Finn match, but notch above a botch? Come on, that's comedy gold. Ducky Devon, the ref should have just counted the pin. So there was a moment where Finn, I think he kicked out at 3.1 instead of 2.9, and you're right, Ducky, 100%, the refs should have pinned him. That was a rule under Vince McMahon. I don't know if that's a rule anymore, because this is like the second or third time that I've seen refs stop the pin when they should have done it. Now, I understand that the ending sequence was really cool, but Finn Balor had his shoulders on the mat, and he was going to lose no matter what. The referee should have 100% counted the pin, even if it would have kind of spoiled things. The smartest idiot, Finn needs to leave WWE because they will never book him right. A guy as talented as him should not be enhancement talent. I agree with you. The problem is, where would he go? Maybe TNA, but even that has a working relationship with WWE right now, and I don't see him really being used that much in AEW. Yeah, maybe for a while, but do you really want to get stuck with the Death Riders? Oh man, it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. I really wish AEW was doing better because I feel they aren't as promising as they once were as an alternative place to go. You'll make a lot of money, don't get me wrong, a lot of money, and I wish Tony Khan would hire me so I could sit at home and do nothing. However, creatively, if you're already creatively bankrupt at WWE, going to AEW, probably not gonna fare better. Tis Mickey, LOL, Finn needs a new finisher because the coup de grace isn't taking anyone out anymore. Damian took like 10 of them and still won, and Seth took one tonight and tried to roll Finn up. You're absolutely right. It looks vicious, and it probably is vicious. Can you imagine a 180-pound dude jumping off the top rope, like coming off 10 feet in the air and just like stomping his 2 feet into your chest? That should kill you. But yeah, you know what? Nobody's is not even knocking people out for 3 seconds now. So let's come up with something new, Finn. A3X615, Lyra Valkyria needs to be pushed up to the main roster title contention, and they need to let Dakota Kai get the IC championship. And please bring Roxanne to the main roster already. The Prodigy is too good. Yes, I do think that Roxanne needs to be on the main roster. I think that Dakota Kai should stay in the mid card right now. Their main event scene is about to be stacked with Charlotte Flair and probably Becky Lynch whenever she comes back. And the fact of the matter is, maybe they should have kept Lyra in the main event scene, but they decided to put her in the mid card, and she's done nothing in the mid card. I feel that her title reign being as weak as it is has hurt her ability to be in the main card. So let's let her have like 3 or 4 months of a good IC title run, and then she can bump up to the main event scene. And Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile, they're perfect mid-carders right now. Samuel Munoz, having Lyra at ringside was dumb. If she's gonna be there, have her on commentary with Cole and Pat. I agree with that, but at least she wasn't in the crowd. I think being in the crowd is even worse than just sitting next to them. I think that Lyra should have had the mic on. It helps us connect with the wrestlers. Let us hear them speak. WTF Patch, I loved the Gunther promo. He was easily the best thing on Raw for me. It was hilarious and effortless. 100%, best thing on Raw, and I just still can't get over the fact that Gunther is so freaking funny. I remember people, myself included, thinking, can this Gunther guy really translate to the WWE audience? Yeah, he's good in the ring, but is he too old school? Well, the guy adapted, and he is so good. He is so funny. That was just classic. Telling the crowd that his wrestling is like Shakespeare to dogs. Come on. Raphael at air. We got Kevin versus Sammy. Got the perfect stipulation to make it a show-stealing match. Yeah, I agree. Like, what else are they gonna do? Unsanctioned, they can do whatever they want now. So that's definitely good. We got Finn can't catch a break with Els. This match was entertaining, but I wish Finn won through interference, or if the opponent wasn't Seth Rollins. Yeah, it would have been nice. It definitely would have been nice for Finn Balor to get into the Elimination Chamber. Ah, man. I just hate the losses. I just can't even enjoy a Finn Balor match anymore because I just know the outcome. And that sucks because he's such a good wrestler. And then number 3, Braun versus AJ has a very good build, and they haven't spoken on the mic yet. Yeah, it's very, very good. I'm liking it, actually. First, they had a little stare down, and did you see AJ Styles catch that shirt? Braun Breaker threw it off and threw it at him, and he caught it? That was so cool. I'm definitely liking it. I hope that this becomes the match for Mania and not the Elimination Chamber, because I really want Braun and AJ on that card, and I think they would kill it. Madden Davis, I feel bad for Raquel. She's putting in some serious work, but all she's seen as right now is Liv as lackey. Hope she gets a big moment soon. She deserves it. honestly, being Liv's lackey is probably saving her job. I don't feel she's done a very good job until last night. Last night's match was amazing. Raquel really impressed me. If Raquel can have more matches like that last night, then yes, all the way, give her a singles push. But she's been on the roster since October, and I seem to remember more botches than not with her. So I'm hoping yesterday was the beginning of just a newfound lease on her career, because she was excellent last night. But up until last night, lots and lots of botches. And I'm talking just as like last week. She botched the crap out of that tag match last week. But yesterday, Raquel, she showed up and I was impressed. Nick O'Bellick, I trust Gunther and Papa H and even Jey, even though he doesn't deserve this when Chad Gable is on the same roster. But money talks. That's a decent way of looking at it. So you might not want Jey in your main event against Gunther, but you are going to trust the process. I think this is a situation we do trust the process, and money talks. You understand why they have to go with Jey over Chad Gable. I feel, honestly, Chad Gable should have won last year when he was a face and they had a built-in storyline. Not Sammy, but Chad. Regardless, right now, Chad is a heel, so I do feel that would be a little weird if Chad versus Gunther, but I get what you're saying, that you want someone, maybe a better wrestler for Gunther, but money talks, you understand, and we just gotta enjoy the ride as much as we can. So that's a decent way of looking at it. Mixtape TV, WCV, I'm so impressed and amazed. Pathetic Triple H made all Judgment Day lose. Phenomenal choice. Break them up already. Don't think this guy likes Triple H's booking, but I do agree. Break him up already if they're just gonna job out to everybody. Ivy Nile losing just doesn't make sense. You're absolutely right. Doesn't make sense. Way more storyline, as you say, with Ivy Nile and Lyra Valkyria. Dakota Kai has no story with the IC champ. American Made has a story to have gold when Gable returns, and so far they're losing and being booked poorly. What's the deal with American Made? They're such a good stable. I don't understand why they can't win when it matters. It's like, I'm agreeing with you, Mixtape. You might be a little more aggressive than I am, but I do agree with you. And then I hope Tunga Loa returns to save the WWE and dismantle the entire Raw roster. Yes, Tunga Loa, where are you? Tunga Loa, we need you. And on that, let's just end it. Those are your hot takes for Monday Night Raw. Boys, girls, let me know some hot takes that maybe I didn't read or didn't get to, or that you just thought up as we went through the whole process. And if you can't think of nothing, then just say, Tunga Loa, we acknowledge you. Boys, girls, have a good day.